The Miami sun, known for its warmth, can also cast long, dark shadows. This vibrant city, known for its beaches, nightlife, and luxury, hides stories that are as complex as the blockchain itself. In the heart of this tropical paradise, a story of love, betrayal, and cryptocurrency theft unfolded, capturing the attention of both the tech world and the tabloids, leaving a trail of heartbreak and a hefty sum of digital assets missing. The digital age has brought new ways to connect, but also new ways to deceive and defraud. This is the story of Maïssa Jabali, a 22-year-old Tunisian national, and Michael Anthony Bravo, a successful entrepreneur who found love in the Magic City, only to have it turn as cold as a Bitcoin winter. Their romance seemed perfect, but beneath the surface, trouble was brewing. Jabali and Bravo's paths crossed in the summer of 2024. It was a chance meeting that would change both their lives forever. He was captivated by her beauty, and she, it seems, was drawn to his considerable wealth, amassed through savvy investments in online gaming and, more recently, the volatile world of cryptocurrency. Their connection was instant, but perhaps too good to be true. Their whirlwind romance, fueled by lavish dinners, exotic trips, and expensive gifts, would become a cautionary tale of love gone wrong in the digital age. They lived a life of luxury, but it came at a cost. The stage was set for a modern-day Bonnie and Clyde story, but with a technological twist. Their love story was intertwined with the rise and fall of digital currencies. As their relationship progressed at lightning speed, so did the cracks in their seemingly idyllic facade. Arguments became more frequent, and trust began to erode. Unbeknownst to Bravo, his fairy tale romance was about to take a sharp turn into the dark underbelly of cybercrime. The allure of easy money and the anonymity of the internet would lead to a betrayal that he never saw coming. Michael Anthony Bravo, a self-made millionaire by the age of 30, was used to winning. His early success in the competitive world of online gaming had made him both wealthy and wary of those who might be drawn to his fortune more than his personality. Yet, when Maïssa Jabali sashayed into his life, he was smitten, blinded by her beauty and charm. They had met, as many modern couples do, through a dating app. Jabali, new to Miami, was immediately taken with Bravo's profile pictures of him on yachts and private jets and at exclusive parties screamed success. Bravo, for his part, found Jabali's exotic beauty and air of mystery intoxicating. Their first date was at one of Miami's hottest restaurants, the kind where reservations were harder to come by than a Bugatti in rush-hour traffic. Bravo, never one to spare any expense, ensured that Jabali was treated like a queen. He ordered champagne by the magnum, and food that was as pleasing to the eye as it, presumably, was to the palate. Jabali, for her part, played the role of the impressed date to perfection. The whirlwind courtship continued, with Bravo showering Jabali with extravagant gifts, designer handbags, diamond earrings, and even the keys to a brand-new cherry-red Ferrari. It was as if Bravo was trying to buy Jabali's love, ensuring that she was always surrounded by the finest things money could buy. The more he gave, the more she seemed to want, and Bravo was more than willing to oblige. Jabali seemed to have it all, a handsome and successful boyfriend, a luxurious lifestyle, and a wardrobe that could rival a Kardashian's. Her social media was filled with pictures of her glamorous life, making her the envy of many. She was living a dream that many could only fantasize about, and she played the part perfectly. However, beneath the surface of this seemingly perfect relationship, cracks began to appear. The arguments started small, often about trivial matters, but they grew in intensity. Bravo began to notice Jabali's mood swings, and her tendency to become defensive when questioned about her past or her intentions. Friends cautioned Bravo about Jabali's motives, pointing out her extravagant spending habits and the fact that she never seemed to offer to pay for anything. They were worried that she was taking advantage of his generosity and that her love might not be as genuine as it seemed. But Bravo, blinded by love and perhaps a touch of ego, brushed off their concerns. He believed that his friends were simply jealous or overly cautious. He was convinced that Jabali truly loved him and that their relationship was special. One evening, while enjoying a romantic dinner overlooking the Miami skyline, Jabali casually mentioned that her visa was about to expire. The timing of her revelation was impeccable, almost as if it was planned to catch Bravo off guard. She downplayed the issue, assuring Bravo that it was just a minor bureaucratic hurdle. She seemed so confident and nonchalant about it, making it easy for Bravo to believe that it was nothing to worry about. She even hinted that she might have to return to Tunisia for a while to sort it out. The thought of being apart from her seemed unbearable to Bravo, and he immediately began to think of ways to help her stay. Bravo, eager to keep his love by his side, offered to have his lawyers expedite the process. He was willing to do whatever it took to ensure that Jabali could remain with him, even if it meant pulling some strings and calling in favors. What Bravo didn't know was that this visa issue was just one piece of the elaborate web of deception that Jabali was weaving around him. She had carefully crafted her story and her actions to manipulate Bravo's emotions and secure her place in his life. He was so enamored with the illusion of their perfect relationship that he failed to see the warning signs flashing brightly around him. The red flags were there, but Bravo chose to ignore them, believing that their love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle. The end came as quickly as their romance had begun. What started as a whirlwind of passion and excitement soon spiraled into a storm of jealousy and mistrust. A particularly heated argument, fueled by jealousy and suspicion, culminated in Bravo asking Jabali to leave his luxurious waterfront condo. The tension had been building for weeks, and this confrontation was the breaking point. Devastated, at least on the surface, Jabali retreated to Bravo's yacht, where he was staying while renovations were being done on his condo. The yacht, a symbol of their once glamorous life together, now felt like a gilded cage. Bravo, emotionally drained from the fight, fell into a restless sleep. His mind was a whirlwind of thoughts, replaying the argument over and over, unable to find peace. This was the opportunity Jabali had been waiting for. She had been planning this moment for weeks, waiting for the perfect time to strike. With Bravo asleep, she took his phone, which he had foolishly forgotten to lock. Her heart raced as she realized how easy it was to access his private information. A few quick swipes and she had accessed his cryptocurrency wallet. The screen glowed with the promise of wealth, and she knew exactly what to do next. Bravo, like many early adopters, had invested heavily in Trumpcoin, a cryptocurrency that had unexpectedly surged in value. His foresight had paid off, but now it was about to become his downfall. Jabali, her eyes gleaming with avarice, initiated a transfer of nearly all of his Trumpcoin holdings, a staggering $850,000 to her own digital wallet. The thrill of the heist was intoxicating, but Jabali wasn't done yet. She had more plans to execute, and she was determined to make the most of this opportunity. She then proceeded to use Bravo's American Express card to book a luxurious Airbnb in the Bahamas for herself and presumably a getaway companion. The idea of escaping to paradise was too tempting to resist. The cost? A cool $4,239.44. It was a small price to pay for freedom and a fresh start. As a final act of defiance, she made several other online purchases, racking up an additional $14,000 on Bravo's card. Each transaction was a nail in the coffin of their relationship. With her digital heist complete, she slipped out of the yacht and into the Miami night, leaving behind no trace, or so she thought. The city lights reflected in her eyes as she disappeared into the darkness, her future uncertain but undeniably changed. When Bravo woke up the next morning, he initially didn't suspect anything was amiss. It was only when he checked his phone and saw a series of frantic notifications from his cryptocurrency exchange that the horrifying truth dawned on him. Jabali had cleaned him out. Panic surged through him as he realized the extent of her betrayal. Heartbroken and furious, Bravo immediately contacted the Miami Police Department to report the theft. However, he quickly realized that the police, accustomed to dealing with more traditional forms of theft, were ill-equipped to handle the intricacies of cryptocurrency crime. Determined to bring Jabali to justice and recover his stolen assets, Bravo hired David Bolton, a renowned private investigator known for his discretion and success rate. Bolton, a veteran of countless fraud investigations, immediately understood the complexities of the case. He knew that tracking down Jabali wouldn't be the hardest part. The real challenge would be recovering the stolen cryptocurrency. Unlike traditional currencies, cryptocurrencies exist in a decentralized, digital realm, making them incredibly difficult to trace, let alone recover. Valentine's Day, a time for love and affection, but sometimes it can take an unexpected turn. This year, many found their hearts broken not by a lover, but by a scam. The promise of romance turned into a costly deception, leaving victims not just heartbroken but also financially drained. It's a harsh reminder that even on the most romantic day of the year, caution is essential. Picking up the pieces after a scam is no easy feat. Victims often face emotional turmoil and financial strain. The path to recovery is long and arduous, requiring patience, support, and resilience. It's about rebuilding trust not just in others but in oneself. And while the journey is tough, it's crucial to remember that recovery is possible, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. Southlake, Texas, a quiet, affluent community known for its serene environment and high standard of living. Nestled in the heart of Texas, this town is a picture of suburban bliss, where families thrive and neighbors greet each other with warm smiles. Manicured lawns and luxury cars are a common sight here. The streets are lined with well-maintained gardens, showcasing the pride residents take in their homes. It's a place where appearances matter, and the community exudes an air of prosperity. But behind the facade of wealth, a shocking crime unfolded. As the sun set and the streets grew quiet, an unsettling truth began to emerge, shattering the illusion of this idyllic suburb. Stacy Blackman, a seemingly ordinary woman, was about to become the center of a scandal. To her neighbors, she was just another resident, blending seamlessly into the fabric of the community. Her crime? Embezzling a staggering $1.2 million from her employer. It was a betrayal of trust on an unimaginable scale, a calculated act that would leave everyone reeling. Blackman's target was a successful luxury home building company. This wasn't just any business, it was a cornerstone of the community, known for crafting the very homes that defined Southlake's upscale character. It was a company that prided itself on trust and integrity. Employees worked diligently, believing in the values that the company stood for. They never suspected that one of their own could be capable of such deceit. Little did they know, a wolf was among the sheep. Blackman's actions were a stark contrast to the image she projected, and her betrayal would soon come to light. Blackman's actions would send shockwaves through the community and leave a lasting mark on all involved. The news spread quickly, and the once peaceful neighborhood was now abuzz with whispers and speculation. The question on everyone's mind, how could this happen? As investigators delved deeper into the case, the community grappled with the reality that someone they thought they knew could commit such a crime. The facade of perfection was shattered, leaving a community forever changed. Stacy Blackman, 39, was not someone you would suspect of such a brazen crime. She was a familiar face around the office, a seemingly dedicated employee, but behind her unassuming demeanor, a devious plan was brewing. Blackman saw an opportunity in tragedy. When a senior partner at the firm passed away in 2019, Blackman seized the moment. She exploited the chaos and grief to gain access to the deceased partner's accounts. Blackman's actions were calculated and cold. She befriended and manipulated the heir, further cementing her access and concealing her treachery. Blackman's motive, however, was far from ordinary. This wasn't about greed or simple material gain. Blackman had a different kind of obsession. She craved fame and attention in the digital age. Her weapon of choice? TikTok. Blackman funneled an astonishing $900,000 of the stolen money into buying TikTok coins. These digital tokens are used to shower creators with virtual gifts, a symbol of status and popularity on the platform. Blackman's goal was clear: to become a TikTok influencer. She yearned for the validation and attention that came with a large following and a constant stream of likes and comments. But Blackman's spending spree didn't stop at virtual gifts. She ventured into the world of high-end retail, where she spared no expense. Designer clothes, exclusive handbags, and the latest in luxury fashion became her new normal. Every shopping trip was a statement, a declaration of her newfound status. She was no longer just another face in the crowd. She was a woman of means, or so it seemed. She indulged in a lavish lifestyle that most could only dream of. From private yacht parties to exclusive fashion shows, Blackman's life was a whirlwind of opulence. She was often seen at the most elite events, rubbing shoulders with the rich and famous. Her social media was a curated gallery of her extravagant escapades, each post more glamorous than the last. Blackman purchased a suite at the American Airlines Center, home of the Dallas Mavericks, to watch her favorite basketball team in style. This wasn't just any seat, it was a private suite, complete with all the amenities one could imagine. She hosted lavish parties there, inviting friends and acquaintances to join her in her luxurious box, making every game an event to remember. Her home was transformed with expensive furniture. Each piece was carefully selected to reflect her taste and status. From Italian leather sofas to custom-made chandeliers, no detail was overlooked. Her residence became a sanctuary of luxury, a place where she could escape and revel in her opulent surroundings. And she embarked on extravagant trips, leaving a trail of luxury in her wake. First-class flights, five-star resorts, and exotic destinations were now part of her regular itinerary. Each journey was meticulously planned to ensure maximum indulgence, from the finest dining experiences to the most exclusive activities. Blackman's need for instant gratification was insatiable. She was constantly on the lookout for the next big purchase, the next thrill. Online shopping sprees became a daily ritual, with packages arriving at her doorstep in a never-ending stream. Her spending was not just a habit, it was an addiction. The thrill of the deception, the allure of online fame, and the intoxication of material wealth fueled her reckless spending. Each like, each comment on her posts was a validation of her extravagant lifestyle. She was living a double life, one that was as glamorous as it was precarious. But her extravagant facade couldn't last forever. The cracks in her carefully constructed world began to show. The pressure of maintaining such a lavish lifestyle was immense, and the reality of her situation was catching up with her. The once vibrant and bustling home started to feel empty and cold. The truth always has a way of coming out. The authorities began to take notice, and the investigation into her finances was inevitable. The glamorous life she had built was crumbling, and soon she would have to face the consequences of her actions. The end of her trail of extravagance was near. For 2 years, Blackman managed to keep her scheme hidden, but in 2022, her web of lies began to unravel. The senior partner's daughter, while reviewing the trust fund, noticed discrepancies. Something wasn't adding up. The company launched an internal investigation. The more they dug, the more apparent Blackman's betrayal became. The evidence was overwhelming. Bank records, credit card statements, and online transaction histories all pointed to Blackman as the culprit. The company was stunned. They had placed their trust in her, and she had betrayed them in the worst possible way. The company, determined to seek justice, contacted law enforcement. The authorities moved swiftly. A grand jury indicted Blackman on 2 counts of theft over $300,000. The charges were serious, carrying the weight of significant prison time. Blackman's world, built on lies and deceit, was collapsing around her. The consequences of her actions were about to catch up with her. Facing overwhelming evidence, Stacey Blackman pleaded guilty to both counts of theft. The court proceedings were swift. On August 14, 2024, Blackman was sentenced to 2 concurrent 35-year prison sentences. The judge, in his sentencing remarks, emphasized the severity of Blackman's crimes and the breach of trust involved. He also acknowledged the impact Blackman's actions had on the company, its employees, and the community as a whole. Blackman, once a seemingly ordinary woman with aspirations of online fame, was now a convicted felon facing decades behind bars. The case of Stacey Blackman left many people wondering how someone could be so cunning and manipulative. Tarrant County Assistant District Attorney Lori Varnell, who prosecuted the case, described Blackman as extremely intelligent. Varnell noted that despite only having a high school education, Blackman displayed a remarkable ability to hide her tracks and manage the stolen funds. She had a knack for deception, creating a web of lies that took years to untangle. Blackman's case served as a stark reminder that white-collar crime can be committed by anyone, regardless of their background or education level. Stacey Blackman's story is a cautionary tale of greed, ambition, and the allure of online fame. She was once an ordinary woman, living an ordinary life until the temptation of easy money and instant recognition led her down a dark path. It started innocently enough with small, seemingly harmless actions. But as her online presence grew, so did her appetite for more. More followers, more money, more luxury. It highlights the devastating consequences that can result from the pursuit of instant gratification and the abuse of trust. Blackman's actions were not just about the money, they were about the thrill, the rush of being noticed, and the validation from strangers on the internet. But every action has a reaction, and her choices soon caught up with her. As Blackman begins her 35-year sentence, she is left to confront the wreckage of her actions. The stolen money, the TikTok fame, the lavish lifestyle, all gone. The reality of her situation is stark and unforgiving. She now spends her days in a small, confined space, reflecting on the choices that led her here. The lavish lifestyle, all gone. The mansions, the cars, the designer clothes. They were all fleeting illusions of success. Now, they stand as empty reminders of what she once had and lost. The people who once admired her from afar have moved on, leaving her to face the consequences alone. Only the harsh reality of her crimes remains. The isolation, the regret, the endless hours to think about what she did. It's a sobering reminder that the choices we make can have long-lasting impacts, not just on ourselves but on those around us. Blackman's story serves as a reminder that actions have consequences, no matter how cleverly they are concealed. The scales of justice are always in motion, and eventually they catch up with everyone. Her attempts to hide her misdeeds were futile in the end, and sometimes the price of fleeting fame is far greater than we could ever imagine. The broken mirror symbolizes the shattered illusions of her former life, and the regret is a constant companion. Blackman's story is a powerful lesson in the dangers of chasing after superficial success and the heavy weight of the consequences that follow.